Greetings! Well, today we have ourselves a bit of a blizzard, so I figured I'd get to a project I've been ignoring for quite some time. I have a older Dodge pickup, and the factory cassette tape player has decided it's about done. So, killing a little time this morning before the sun came up, wandering around a local store and discovered this radio on sale for, as it turns out, 20 bucks. I suspect it's probably going to be worth exactly 20 bucks, but I figure at least might be interesting to see at least how to prep to put a CD player in. Normally I'm lazy. I'll just use solderless connectors and splice the wire harness together. But seeing as how I have a soldering iron, I will solder the wires together this time round. Might be an interesting change. So, well, let's see what's in this box. Okay. All right. We have a remote, because I guess everything has to have a remote. The pigtail for the radio side of the harness, and some radio removal tools. Okay. And the radio itself. Now this is what they're calling a media receiver, a mechless, I believe, is the precise words they used on the shelf. Basically, it doesn't have a CD player in it. Which, as it happens, I haven't used a CD player in a car for a very long time. So, here's the beast. It looks to be quite cheap. It doesn't weigh very much. And that's pretty much it. Now, the main project is to put this pigtail with that pigtail and make ourselves a wire harness. So I will unbox a few things and jump cut to when I'm ready to do something. Alright. So I looked into it, compared the manuals, and this will basically be an adventure in matching wires. One interesting thing for later on, this is a Universal 74 to 2007 Chrysler wire harness adapter. They used two different styles of connector. These two are the older ones, this is the newer one. I don't recall exactly where my pickup falls. Worst of it is, I already have a harness made up for that pickup. Unfortunately, I don't know where it is. Because I also have an install kit. You know, the adapter looks kind of like this. I have one of those somewhere too. Not sure where. So, time to make a new one. So let's get in. Now I've warmed up my soldering iron. So it should be good to go. And I have a helping hand. So hopefully it'll be helpful. All right, well, in no particular order. Oh. Ah, there is one thing I need to do. Heat shrink. I want to make sure we put a little heat shrink over the ends of these, or over these connections. Hopefully I got the right size heat shrink. Problem with being a snowstorm, it's kind of hard to just run to town and grab the right size heat shrink if town's, you know, well, in this weather, 45 minutes, an hour away. There's a chance the local hardware store might have something. If they're open, of course. Okay. All right, so it's a simple process. We'll slide a piece of heat shrink tubing over the wire first. Get that shoved right out of the way. Clip that end in there. We'll take the adapter harness. Give these a nice little twist. That there. Okay, that'll work. Grab my solder. Might have to change tips. I don't know how good this tip will be for tinning wire. And a snowplow just went by. Go. Ah, there we go. Okay. Now, those lined up, something like that. There we go. Let that cool off, and that looks like a solder joint. Not the greatest, but should get the job done. And my heat shrink, oh yeah, my heat shrink tube slides over. See if I can't improve the look of this joint a little. There we go. There we go. That might look a little better. Yeah, it's ugly, but like I said, it'll get the job done. All right. Next, I'll do the black. And the black. Another potential challenge. I don't remember if this pickup has the chassis ground connector running to the radios, running to the radio in the harness. I believe it does, but I don't remember. I had a stereo, I had an aftermarket CD player in the pickup for quite a few years till the radio died in it, or until the whole thing broke. But so I don't remember what part does, or what part of the, which radio was the pickup, the old one, which one's the new one. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, the rest is just kind of a rinse and repeat, so I will jump until I have the rest of these wires connected. It's a couple of things worth mentioning at this point. First off and foremost, I have a IPC certification it's IPC 610 is the standard I have a certification in. That's acceptability for electronic assemblies. The wire harness, this stuff, that certification would be the 620. So any soldering going on here that isn't up to par, well, sorry. Now another thing to note, I said earlier, unless I cut it out, this radio I bought is $20. So What did they do to knock the cost out? Well, obviously it doesn't have a CD player mechanism in it. I can't imagine those are terribly expensive, but it doesn't have one. One interesting area they cut price in is the wire harness. Now, probably be a little hard to see, but the wires for the radio pigtail are silver. They're not pre-tinned. They're probably aluminum, to be honest. Whereas the wires the install kit came with are copper. Just regular old copper. So that's one interesting difference. All right. Now it's time to melt all the heat shrink. So for that, I have a little torch. Runs on butane. Let's see if it fills it. Nope. Okay. All right, and to fill it, okay, that appears to be full. Very handy. Let's see if it goes. Oh yeah. Whew. There we go. All right. Now, let's do this. I'll start with this one here. This wire is unneeded. It's the illumination wire from the factory harness. Okay. Right, and the last one. Okay. Well, there we go. That is a harness all nice and made up. Now I'll go through, make sure I didn't have any nicked wires anywhere. And I believe I'll have to put it in the pickup. So thank you.